I don't know if that worked. Probably what's happening now is that we really didn't have audio and they still can't hear us. Hello out there.
Wow, that was extremely loud.
Hello.
Whew.
Hello. Hello. Who is it?
Hope I still have my hearing after
English
this.
Kniggets.
No, I do not want to restart my computer now. This is a horrible time to ask me if I want to restart my computer.
Welcome to the live. I got the big cup today.
And a straw because he had drips off his mustache.
Yeah, I need to trim this back a little bit. It's getting unwieldy. I got the ginger whiskey.
I have water.
And Coke Zero, Coke Zed. We got the first one in there, Sean and Alana, probably Sean, from the Down Under Cruises. And then we got Stacy in there, Stacy in the house, and Kevin Count's party. We thought we'd just drop in. Who ordered pizza? Where's the icebox? Yes, we did order pizza tonight.
We did indeed.
Yes, we did. Yes, who else we got in here? Let's see.
Wow, you are loud tonight.
This is my normal. Have you met me?
No. This is like extra loud.
No,
this is just your shirt.
This is just, you just noticed that? We had a whole discussion about Mardi Gras. Because,
I thought you were
Mardi
just
Gras
asking
week.
me. I didn't realize there was a reason. I know it's really bugging me.
Well, if we had a cat, it would take care of it.
Hello, Tony.
Hey, Tony Dials, Mallory Pfeffer, Mama Sandy. Greetings and salutations. Greetings and salutations. That was my, oh gosh, I can't even think of the guy's name. Oh, 80s actor that sounded like Jack Nicholson and was in the movie about the free radio thing. And oh my gosh. And wow, I'm blanking out. You know what I'm talking about, do you?
I actually wasn't even listening
to you. Okay. All right.
You talk so loud.
Andrew's here as well. And we got Kenneth Oakes in the house. Hey, Ford man. Problem with drinking through the straws, it's like a process. I can't just, I don't know. Anyway.
Reno's here.
Happy Friday. It's not the 13th. It's Friday the 4th. This time next week, we will be
hi, Gina.
in the Bahamas. So that's exciting. Christian Slater, thank you. My goodness, why couldn't I think of Christian Slater's name?
I don't know.
With Heathers. You've never seen any of those movies, have
you?
We're working on it. We're getting her through. We did watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So, we're taking steps, baby steps here. Let's see. What is Tony saying? Like the restraining order would stop me. Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm excited it's Friday because, I don't know, it was kind of a long week, I feel like.
It's been like a long weeks.
It's been a long weeks?
Yeah. I mean, work has just like exploded with busyness for me.
Exploded.
And
what's my mom saying? Yeah. Hey, our Reno.
Well, I said Reno are here, so maybe she was saying like hi.
Okay.
To Reno.
Yeah, he's in the corner.
Nobody
puts Reno in the corner.
I'm just like mentally exhausted. My boss came at the end of the day. I was getting myself ready to like finish up for the day, and she walked in and she said, "How'd you do? Did you catch up?" Or what did she say? How's it going? What did I tell you? She said
something like that. How's it going? Yeah, I think that's what. I think those were the words that you used.
Something like that, yeah. And I said, "Oh, that's not it," because I said like not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was like I left with a bunch of emails and voicemails to return, and I was like, you know what? I'm one human, and those people might just have to wait an extra day. So
there you go. Stacy says, I am tired too. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just busy times.
Yeah.
Busy times. And yeah. So I've had some fun on Facebook this week because everybody's cruising now, which is good. That makes me very happy. people are cruising, and it's enough cruising going on, and I think most people are getting to cruise now. There are still some people, like in Australia, for example, that are waiting for their opportunity, but that it's not as painful to see people cruise when you can't, like, for at least for us, I think. But the cool thing is, not only are they cruising, but I've been seeing like cruise creature pictures pop up on different places on Facebook, and I've gotten to ID some animals, whether they wanted me to or not. So, but I love it.
What else did you ID besides Brian's crab?
Our friend Brian saw an arrow crab in Aruba, I think. Oh, look there you go. There's a tie right there. And then I had some friends that found a brittle star. Can't remember where they were. They found a brittle star.
Okay.
We may see a brittle star in Half Moon Cay. I've seen them in Half Moon Cay.
That would be cool because I've never seen a star.
Yeah. Well, I've seen proper starfish as well, because brittle stars they're like technically in a different group.
Still never seen a star. I don't care what kind of star it is.
Either one would be pretty cool. Yeah, either one would be pretty
Tony
cool.
said he may or may not have the chance to relocate to Tampa with his job.
Really? Well, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
Some Harry Potter D&D.
Yes. Well,
or Harry Potter and D&D. We could combine them. That could be interesting.
We could do that.
Yeah.
A Harry Potter role-playing thing. That'd be fun. It would be fun. Thank you, Kenny, for sharing the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate that. Kenny's always doing that. Like, he's always sharing people's live streams. He is the man. We do very much appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Congrats on the news interview. Oh yeah, I was on the news. So that was different. You
didn't want to be on the news.
I didn't. I mean, when I used to work at the Science Center in St. Pete, I was on the news not a lot, but I was on the news several times, which was cool. I mean, whatever. But this time I was not really, like, when they were like, "Hey Matt, can you go on the news tomorrow?" I was like, But once I did it, I had fun. I was just like, oh, like the beard's not primed, like the diet's kind of faded away, trying to get that back on track. But I had to do.
He wasn't camera ready.
I had to wear, a different shirt than I normally wear to work. So, I mean, it was one of my work shirts, but it just wasn't.
But it was a polo.
It wasn't a t-shirt. I usually like to wear the.
Tony said, "Shut up and take my money."
Sean, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel because you folks are cruising. Well, that is cool. I mean, because honestly, like, you guys are in a sucky situation, and we feel for you, and hopefully you guys will get to cruise soon. Well, we know you're going to get to cruise somewhat soon, but hopefully Australia will keep opening up. And I mean, knock on press board, things are looking pretty good right now as far as that goes. That goes. So, yeah. Yeah.
So will you hand me that right over there? The thing that I'm growing over there?
You mean the weed that you're growing in our bedroom or in our second bedroom, Kimbra? Kimbra's growing weed in our second bedroom, Mom.
Whoa, wait. I'm growing dandelions, which is
like from the Witcher?
Yes, it's in
Is it a bard? There's a bard in a cup?
It is in a dog bowl. I'm growing dandelions. I bought dandelion seeds.
After my pot smoke rant a couple weeks ago.
There is some green in here, but they look kind of shriveled, so I don't think it's working. I don't really know what dandelions when they start growing looks like. You can put that back.
This is how, see, we're animal people, not botany people, so we can't even grow literal weeds that are bought with the purpose of growing
Reno, why are
literal
you doing
weeds. Because he wants to get your attention, and it's working.
Well, why are you trying to lay in the extension cords? He has a bed, and there's a pile of extension cords next to it. And he is laying in the extension cords. Yeah, that's not comfortable. Move.
Okay, so yeah,
Reno,
election coming this year in Australia.
Come here.
You guys may make some changes. Look,
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to get political on here, but I hope you guys get to cruise soon, for sure. Dandelions, right? Wink, wink, wink.
It really is dandelions.
I'm not a hippie. I don't.
Churro.
If you want to smoke pot, that's fine, but
I'm growing dandelions for
thing.
churro to have a snack to eat.
That's right. Now we're talking about weeds and snacks. That's whoa, dude. Should we like totally change our accents and inflections for this?
Okay, maybe I should have kept the dandelion growing to myself. The problem is you started it off with weeds.
I did. I mean, because it's kind of funny.
It's really funny.
It's kind of funny.
Like we were at Repticon, which I guess maybe we should talk about a little bit because
we can before we start.
Yeah, I mean, nothing fun came out of it, but I mean, I bought dandelions.
We bought dandelions.
Well, they're not live dandelions yet. They're just seeds. But I grabbed it. I was like, oh, I could grow dandelions for churro. And he's like, how much is that? And I said, I don't know. And it ended up being $5. So I'm like, okay, we'll spend $5 on some dandelion seeds. And so far it looks like they're not growing. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't buy any pets. We did buy some animals. We bought
about 600
superworms.
600 live ones.
Yes. And we bought some frozen
75 dead ones.
Too. But yeah, the temptation was real, but
where are those, by the way?
There, I moved them in the other room because I knew they would bother you in here. So
thanks.
I mean, there's less than 600 now because the Tegu went to bed. Like we thought she was coming out of her winter sleep, and apparently she just decided to go back to bed because we haven't seen her in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Or more, maybe.
I haven't seen her since Sunday.
We haven't seen her all week. So she's just sleeping. And the iguana only eats like 1, maybe 2 a day. And then he skips a day every now and then. So it's going to take him a bit. So hopefully Luna will wake up soon. Otherwise,
that's a lot of worms.
I mean, they'll last about 6 months. So yeah.
Mallory
says your cruise creature questions in the group are difficult to answer.
Did you try?
So I know they are difficult to answer, but if you can
try. Did anybody try?
I don't think we've had anybody try except for Ian, who just kind of gave a smarty pants answer.
I mean, he literally said, I give up.
Yeah. But basically we're going to ask these questions of ourselves for our cruise creature segment tonight. And yeah, but if you guys have answers to these, when we get to that point, what you can do is put the number of the question. We'll try and put the number of the question up there.
Oh, did you put that on here?
I could.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
I can do that.
Hello, Todd. You haven't missed the fun yet.
No.
We just talked about dandelions.
We've only just begun.
What did we talk about? Dandelions and Repticon. And Reno laying down in extension cords.
We'll just make sure it's good there. That's weird. Oh, there it goes. It showed up on your screen before mine, and I'm the one that pressed it. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
We'll bring that back up. So so you guys can answer those if you'd like to do that.
So we do have 1 minute until we start the podcast. So for those of you that have not joined us before, which I think most of the people in here have, but if you haven't, the way this works is once we start the podcast, we're mostly just going to talk podcast for approximately an hour. We may jump in with the chat here and there, but our goal is the podcast. Afterwards, we'll roll the credits and then chat with you all some more.
That's right. I've got my Maximo cup tonight. So it's like a double portion here because I always run out halfway through and I don't want to disrupt the podcast. Mallory is asking for the complete list to choose from. Cheating.
What complete list? Like we put the list and then you place which question it goes to?
I don't know.
We're not going to do that.
Todd says the questions are something that I never really thought about. I mean, probably a lot of people haven't. I can't say that I thought about that, but we came up with the idea for this topic and talk a little bit about why in a minute when we start. But then we were like, well, what should the cruise creature be? And I was like, man, we should reflect on cruise creature experiences that we've had or wanted to have in our cruising time. So then I was like, well, I don't want to just say like, what's your favorite creature you've ever seen? Because one, I can't pick one. And two, if I did, everybody would be like, yeah, we've heard that like 15 times. So octopus. Anyway, shark, I don't know. So yeah. Mallory says cruise creature list to choose from.
That's like 128 things.
And they might not necessarily even be on that list, Mallory. So
that's true.
I mean, this is just what you think we would answer or what your answers would be for that. Wow. I just, I reached some sort of fitness goal on my watch. Oh, double.
Todd is making homemade brownies.
I hit all 3 goals today. Somehow.
Are there dandelions in your brownies?
Thanks, Apple. Apparently I'm working out.
Oh, I hit all my goals apparently a while ago.
Cool.
2 hours ago.
You know what? It's 9:01. Let's kick this thing off.
Okay.
Kick the tires and light the fires.
Come with me, we're going on a Fintastic cruise. Pick your destination with news, tips, and reviews. But here is an item you might...
Well, that didn't work. Let's try again.
Come with me, we're going on a Fintastic cruise. Pick your destination with news, tips, and reviews. But here is an item you might not have thought of. All of the things under the water. Nature surrounds us with elegant features. You can't go on a cruise and not see the creatures. So let's make some magic, let's get ecstatic. Instantly classic, maybe romantic. The wildlife around you, cinematic on your Fintastic cruise.
Bon Beanie, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Fintastic Cruising. My name is Matt.
And I'm Kimbra.
And we are here on this wonderful Friday in early March 2022.
You just feel like adding the date in?
I don't know why. So here we are. This is the podcast. Welcome. We are going to be talking about our cruise history today for a good purpose. But do we have anything before we get into that main topic?
Well, of course we do, Matt.
What is it, Kimbra?
Well, Matt, did you know that we're doing a group cruise?
And if you book now, you'll get a set of Ginsu knives.
No, you won't.
Oh, okay. If you book now, then you'll book now. But we would love to have you guys join us because it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to the Cayman Islands and the Roatan and the Belize and the Mexico and Cozumel. And it's the Roatan and Honduras, I should say, if I'm going to be, because I can't. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. And it leaves out of Tampa and it comes back to Tampa, which is not rare at all for a cruise.
That's actually a pretty common thing.
When that doesn't happen, you're either on like a transatlantic, or you're going to California, or something's gone very wrong.
Hopefully not the last one.
But if you are interested in that, you can contact us at fintastictravel@gmail.com.
That's right. You just did my commercial.
I know.
Also, it goes March 12th, 2023.
There you go.
On the Carnival Pride.
7-night cruise.
To the places that he said earlier.
Woot woot. So join us. There. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Is there something I'm forgetting that you're
No, I'm not hinting at anything.
Okay.
I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting anything.
I'm gonna move this over.
Is that bothering you?
It's behind you.
Oh.
She needs to be part of
She
this.
wanted to be close to me.
I understand that.
All right, well, let's jump right into the topic.
All right, let's jump in.
So we realized today, when we were like, what's the podcast going to be about tonight? Because that's how prepared we were. And it occurred to us that this cruise that we're going on next week is kind of important.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you.
Okay.
Just real quick. Thank you, Sean. The backdrop is very nice.
Wow.
I agree. And I really
Wow.
appreciate that.
Wow. And look at Todd jumping in there too.
Thank you so much.
If you want to know how to get on Kimbra's good side,
I actually
just
have
compliment the background. And if you're listening to this podcast, you can still compliment the background.
Speaking of listening, Todd says, too bad the people listening can't see the majesty that is the Fintastic background.
It's pretty epic, really.
I really, really appreciate how much you love my hard work and effort. I'm sorry, Matt, you can go ahead and say whatever you were saying.
Anyway, this cruise is going to be number 20 for me.
Number 20.
My 20th cruise, and it's going to be your
10th.
So how about that? How about them apples? So your 10th cruise, my 20th cruise. That's pretty cool. And I said,
actually, I just want to throw this out as well. Oh no, never mind. It's not what I thought.
Great.
Never mind.
And so we thought, hey, let's kind of recap our cruises. We're not going to go into lots of detail because we're going to try and keep this reasonably timed, but and just kind of ping on the highlights and how cruising how it's changed for us or how we've changed and things like that over our cruising experience. And that's what we're going to do. So I feel like I should start since I have twice as many cruises as you.
Okay.
I will.
Sure.
I don't technically now because I have 19 and you have
so
9.
You should talk about 2 and then I'll talk about 1.
That'll work. Well, once we'll
talk together
on the same one. So yeah. So my first cruise was back in 2011. It was the Monarch of the Seas, a ship that no longer exists as a ship. It is just scrap metal somewhere in a scrapyard or something. It was an old Royal Caribbean ship, and it was a 3-night cruise, which is kind of appropriate because my 20th is going to be a 3-night cruise, a short little 3-night cruise. That cruise actually went to Coco Cay and Nassau. So that was it was my first cruise. It was my test cruise. I got talked into cruising and didn't really have a lot of confidence that I would love it, but I was excited because by the time I was convinced to do it, I started watching YouTube, and that got me kind of psyched and excited and feeling more comfortable with it. And of course, it was awesome. So my second cruise was a 4-night on the Monarch of the Seas. I went back on that cruise. Here's what happened. Okay. I went on that first cruise. It was a lot of fun. And it was so much fun that I got back and was like, hey, friends who've never cruised, you should go on a cruise. So we went on another cruise, and then we did another short cruise, not as short as the first one. And it was a different
itinerary.
It was the same itinerary, but it had a sea day.
Okay.
So the second cruise was my first sea day. My first cruise in Nassau, I went to a little island. I don't think you can even do this anymore. I think a storm wrecked this, but it was a stingray experience. Now I think it was before I even started at the aquarium, 2011. Yeah. Cause I haven't hit my 10-year mark yet. So it was right before I started the aquarium. I just graduated with my education degree. And so we went and we did a stingray experience and then got to snorkel around. Now there wasn't a lot in this area there, but there was one little bitty rock, kind of coral rock structure there, tiny, the size of maybe, if you could imagine what a 5-gallon bucket is, imagine a 10-gallon bucket. It's probably that size. And I noticed some seashells in front of this little opening. And I went, that's what the books would tell me an octopus would do. And I went and I peeked in this hole, and there was an eye looking back at me. So that was my first octopus encounter, was on that cruise. And then we went to Coco Cay pre all the upgrades and stuff, but I don't care because all the best parts of Coco Cay were still there at that point for me. What I love about Coco Cay, and I got to snorkel and hang out with iguanas. It was awesome. It was a really great experience. So we went back And now I guess it's your turn.
My turn. So actually, can I do my first two?
Yeah.
So my first one was in November of 2016 on the Carnival Paradise.
Okay.
And it went to Grand Cayman and Cozumel with 2 sea days on either end. So it was a 5-night cruise. And the reason I wanted to do my second one as well, because it was also on the Carnival Paradise. I repeated my first cruise. I did it twice.
That's kind of what I did.
I know. That's why I wanted to do it.
We extended it by a day.
Well, mine was the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next year. So the first one was in November. The next one was at the end of October. Actually, it was a Halloween cruise. And it was literally the exact same cruise.
The first cruise I went on was so cheap. It was like, I want to say it was like less than $150 per person. I mean, it was a 3-night cruise, right? But still, it was super cheap because that's how I was kind of talked into doing it. I was like, okay, well, I guess we can roll the dice and take a chance. And that was Royal Caribbean, but it was like an ancient, it was like a steam powered Royal Caribbean ship, paddle boats. It had sails. That's how old this Royal Caribbean.
You all have to stand on the side with big rowers.
Yes. And we, in unison, we sang shanties and stuff. But yeah, now my third cruise, now I started in September of 2011.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you again because I love this conversation that's happening right now.
Uh-oh.
Sean said, I'm glad someone with the same fortitude as I picks out the most important part of the show, the background.
Oh my God.
And then Todd says, I agree, and happy others can see how it totally changes it from just a podcast to a memory.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, are you paying these people?
I love what's happening here.
Good grief. Anyway.
Without camera backdrop, it would just be a sad podcast.
Meg, I think it's the 20-sided die light. There you go.
Which totally has everything to do with cruising. I don't know if you noticed,
but that changes colors. Well, there, it just did right now. So it's changing pretty quickly. I thought it was slower. But I'm looking at it now. It's like green. I swear it's staying green, but it changed like 3 colors while I was describing it. Anyway, my third cruise, which was just a little over a year after my first cruise. So first cruise was September of 2011, then June 2012, and then my third cruise was October of 2012, and that was on the Carnival Paradise.
Oh.
I mean, I had started working at the aquarium, so I saw this ship all the time. It was a short 4-night cruise. It went just to Cozumel and back, and that was my first time in Cozumel. So that was pretty good. Wow, more stuff. Kevin counts. The background has me so mesmerized that I have not been able to type until now. And then Dan, we got the world is not perfect without Kimbra's backdrop. I feel like our podcast has been hijacked by the background.
I'm so happy right now.
Anyway, you want me to go on to my next cruise, or do you want to just keep reading comments about about your backdrop? Would you like? Oh, brother. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So then now this is appropriate. My next cruise, which was December of 2013. So there was a pretty good time, October 2012 to December of 2013. So this is a little over a year has elapsed. My next cruise was my first long cruise, 7-night cruise, and it was on Holland America's New Amsterdam.
Oh.
So I have been on Holland America before, and that cruise went to, it went to Grand Turk. So it was my first time in Grand Turk. And what did we do in Grand Turk? I think we did a snorkeling excursion in Grand Turk on that cruise. And then San Juan, Puerto Rico, which we really missed an opportunity, I think, in Puerto Rico. I mean, we went to El Yunque, the rainforest, which is cool. I mean, it's a rainforest. It's a cloud forest. It's cool. Yes. But Old San Juan is, I would not go to El Yunque over Old San Juan because really, I saw like some big snails, and that's the only animals I saw. I mean, it was cool. It was beautiful, but Old San Juan, come on. It's Old San Juan. So that was, and then we went to St. Thomas. My first time in St. Thomas, went to the aquarium there, which was lovely. And
was I supposed to talk about what I did at my port?
I mean, I'm just going through it. Then my first time at Half Moon Cay, which is also where we're going on this particular cruise. And I didn't see a lot on my first trip to Half Moon Cay. Go ahead. Go on to your next cruise.
My next one was on the Carnival Miracle, which was a 7-night cruise out of Tampa, and it came back to Tampa. I know where it went, but I don't know what order it went in. So Grand Cayman, Mahogany Bay, Belize, and Cozumel.
Okay. It's a strong Western Caribbean.
Yeah, that's the trip to Grand Cayman that we decided to do 7 Mile Beach.
Okay. Yeah.
Which we learned a lot. That was my friend Courtney and I. We took a taxi down the street, and they were like, here's a good spot to be dropped off. It was like at some kind of little beach. I don't want to say resort. It's like a bar that has like chairs for rent. And
they dropped you off at a bar.
I mean, yeah, but it's like, like the little restaurant bar places.
Yeah, like a beach bar.
Yeah. They were like, this is a really good one. And then they were like, chairs are like crazy expensive. And we're like, well, we're not doing that. We just wanted to hang out on the beach. So we're like, well, let's just start walking down. And I'm sure you've all heard this story before, but basically we started walking down back towards the ship and realized that there's a lot of like real resorts and hotels and stuff along the beach that you can't get off of the beach because it's all blocked off.
You're locked in.
We were stuck on the beach.
You have to commit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was fine. It just wasn't what we expected. So we basically spent our entire day trying to get back to the ship, hoping it wouldn't leave us. And we were very burnt.
So if you go to Grand Cayman, do a little research, figure out where you're going. What do you want to do? Don't just kind of maybe roll with the punches as much there as the lesson. Now, I noticed that Kevin Counts says that he loves Holland America. And I've heard him say that before. He's a big Holland America fan. Now, I will tell you, Kevin, that the Holland America ship that I was on was very new. It was the new Amsterdam, very new at the time. And it was a beautiful, beautiful ship. I had a really good cruise. I really liked that they had sort of lecture things going on and, kind of cool, like talky stuff, but anyway, I thought it was really cool. It did attract an older clientele, which I was okay with that because I'm not like the party on the deck guy really. So, but it was a beautiful ship. So I'm looking forward to this. Are we still?
We have a lot of good stuff happening. I just have to share because it's really quite wonderful. So, real quick, for those of you that don't know, Matt was on the news the other day for the aquarium, and our pre-show discussion was, and lots of the comments that he posted from the post he put on Facebook is like, Matt's famous now. So Todd said, Matt is a TV star now, hoping we see his own show. Jimmy Fallon needs to have him do an animal segment. And then we have Stacy said, I agree. And Kimbra can set up the background.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then Todd also said Kimbra can design the background.
Studio designer, Kimbra.
Let's see. And then Meg says, in case you forgot, please remember to hit the thumbs up for the background. And Todd says, I only thumbs up because of the background.
I'm not sure how to take that, Todd.
But then Sean says, I feel privileged to know the celebrity known as Matt. Imagine what a news broadcast does. Can't wait to actually touch him in October. Will not wash my hands after.
Where are you touching me, Sean? That's what I want to know.
I'm just
not saying no. I'm just wondering where.
There's so much wonderful things happening in this chat right now. And it's happening while we're just talking about our cruises.
Anyway, let's get back on topic.
I'm sorry.
You know what I thought? I thought every podcast we've done recently has gone way over, and then I missed the Down Under Cruisers podcast because by the time we're done, it's like halfway through, and then we break everything down. And I thought this will be a quicker topic. We'll get through it, but no, we got completely derailed on this. So anyway, where was I? After the New Amsterdam went on the Carnival Legend, this was in May of 2014. It was another 7-night cruise. This was one of my best cruises ever. Carnival Legend. It's the same class of ship as the Carnival Pride. It's my favorite ship I've been on, except maybe the Mardi Gras kind of beat it out. But it is and I went on it when there was no Guy's Burger or Blue Iguana on there yet. I'm looking at her face and there's more comments. Look, let me just get this out before you go into that. This cruise did basically the same itinerary that our group cruise is doing. And I got to do this with our friends, Mark and Kelly and their kids. And I am telling you, it was such a good cruise. Every port was amazing. And it was a lot of fun. Go ahead.
No.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's fine. They've finished up the Fintastic Cruising Background podcast.
It's our background story.
There's also I'm gonna stop. Let's go. It's fine.
All right, it's your turn.
My turn. So my next one was on the Carnival Liberty, and this was my first one not out of Tampa and with someone else. So my first 3 cruises were with my friend Courtney, and then I did the Carnival Liberty in January, which again, I'm sure you've all heard about my January cruise where I learned that it's still cold in January in the Bahamas. And so in the past, before this cruise, Universal Studios did the celebration of Harry Potter the last weekend in January. And my friend Ashley would come down every year. We did this for 3 years.
I'm sorry.
It's good, right? Isn't it hard?
It's I understand. No, I'm not.
The celebration of Harry Potter. And in what year was this? 2019. Universal was like, we're not doing this anymore. And Ashley was like, well, I have to come down. What are we doing? So I convinced her to book a cruise. So, which you probably heard about on the episode that we had her in when we went to Terre Haute. Is this really great?
Sorry, my apologies to those of you who are merely listening to this podcast. I recommend that you watch it for the for the comic relief that's happening in the chat right now.
So that cruise went to Nassau and Princess K, which was my first time doing a cruise in a completely different area.
There you go. So
it was a 4-night.
You went to the more eastern or northern kind of the Bahamas, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, now, you know what I'm realizing? My next cruise was in 2014 on the Enchantment of the Seas. I'm realizing 2 things. It was a 4-night cruise. So most of my early cruises were shorter cruises, and they were mostly on Royal Caribbean, but older Royal Caribbean ships. So Enchantment of the Seas. This is because I'm drinking out of the big cup. The Enchantment of the Seas. It went to it went to Nassau and Coco Cay. And so that was good. And then after that, I tried the Norwegian Star, which left out of Tampa, and it did the same like kind of Western Caribbean trek where it went to Honduras, but it went to Coxon Hole instead of the Roatan Mahogany Bay port, which was cool. And every time I've been to Roatan, I've gone to Maya Key, which is actually really close to Coxon Hole. So if you can do that, and then Costa Maya, which was kind of, we went to the Mayan ruins, which was really cool to do that. Something I recommend. And then Cozumel and probably went to either Chonkanab or what's the name of the park? I can never remember the name of this. Xcaret. Yes. And so that was on the Norwegian Star. It's the only Norwegian ship I've been on. I thought it was cool. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the ship. There were people on that ship that were kind of poo-pooing it and saying that they always sail Norwegian and this was not up to their standard. I thought it was great. Like, now keep in mind at this point, I'm comparing it to older Royal Caribbean and older Carnival ships. This is an older Norwegian ship. So the only newer ship I had been on at this point was Holland America, which was a brand new, spanking new ship. And it was shiny and beautiful and everything. But it didn't, the experience, other than what Holland America offers, which is a little bit more geared to a more mature audience, which I kind of appreciate. It was, all these other cruises were very similar as far as how they felt, I would say. But they had a sports bar on Norwegian that was a la carte. You could buy stuff, but it was super cheap, like wings and stuff. They were like really cheap. And it was a really good place. You could sit down and order breakfast there, which was included. It was a cool cruise. It was a good cruise. I enjoyed it. So, yeah. All right. You're up.
So here's the problem. You were supposed to do 2 and then I was supposed to do 1.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on at this point.
I can't do any more at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, let me catch us up then. All right. So then, and this was 2014. 2015 Norwegian Star. 2016, I'm on the Majesty of the Seas, and which is still a fairly old Royal Caribbean ship, and that was a 4-night cruise going to, I believe, Coco Cay and Nassau, and then December 2016, I get on the Carnival Vista. Now, this is the brand new Carnival Vista. It had just come out. There's all kinds of talk about it. It's really exciting. I'm really into cruising at this point. I've researched this ship. I've been watching it being built, and I get on this ship, and it was kind of a letdown. There was some very disappointing things about the ship. Not that it was a bad cruise. It was not a bad cruise. It was still an amazing cruise, but it was just, there were some things that were not working real well. And so it wasn't my best cruise ever. Now, I would go back on the Vista later and have a different experience. After that, back to the Carnival Paradise, and then the Carnival Glory. Now, the Carnival Glory left out of Miami, and I got to tell you, this is another. So the Carnival Legend and the Carnival Glory, 2 of my best cruises pre-Kimbra. Okay, Carnival Legend, Carnival Glory. Carnival Glory was with Charlie and Bev. I think it was my first cruise with Charlie and Bev. So we went to Grand Cayman. We went to Roatan. We went to Belize. We went to Cozumel, and it was outstanding.
So are you saying that all of your cruises that you've had with me have been like the best?
My best cruises have been with you.
Oh.
So for multiple reasons, you being one of them, but even beyond that, I've had some of my best cruises with you.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Now, after that, I got back on the Vista. So I went back on the Vista, and this time, I don't even know what to do anymore. Yes, go ahead. Read it so that at least people listening can understand what you're laughing at.
Fintastic Cruising Background Podcast Play Sets by Lego would be cool.
Meg, I will meet you in person one day and you will pay. No, I'm just teasing you. So let me just tell you, the second time I was on Carnival Vista, this became my best cruise. Okay, Legend, Vista replaced that because with Charlie and Bev, who I really like cruising with, and this was on the Carnival Vista. Now I had changed my expectations of the Carnival Vista, and Carnival Vista had made some changes as well. So the things that kind of disappointed me, I knew they were going to be what they were, like when you walk in and it's not this grand big area and stuff. was a big one for me, but I love parts of the Vista, so I was better prepared for it. This one went to Grand Turk, Dominican Republic, which I went diving with Charlie, and Curacao and Aruba. This was my best cruise to that point ever. It was amazing. Amazing cruise. You just look like you're ready to...
No.
Oh, no? Okay. All right. After that, I was on the Carnival Breeze.
Sorry. John said, you need to smash all those trolls. And Meg said, I think they made the trolls all mods for a reason. I think they are all mods.
Yeah, in this case, all the trolls are our mods. Yes.
Basically, our entire chat are mods.
Yes, pretty much. So if you want to come on over to YouTube and watch us live, usually Friday nights. Now this next cruise was the... Where am I? I don't even know where I'm at now.
I am so sorry.
I don't even know where I'm at now.
That was a Vista,
This is now I'm on the Elation, which sailed out of Jacksonville. This was actually the first Lalita Loca group cruise. And this is when Tony and I did the Cruise Geeks. So we had started the Cruise Geeks, but this was not the Cruise Geeks group cruise. This was just the Lalita Loca group cruise. So this was a lot of fun because there were a lot of really cool people on it, because group cruises are awesome and you get to meet a lot of really amazing people and you become friends with them. This one went to Nassau and we all walked, and we went to the rum distillery. We went to we tried to go to the chocolate factory. That didn't work out real well. We went to a rum cake place, and it was a lot of fun just hanging out with everybody. We went to Half Moon Cay. I saw the big octopus there, so that was epic. And then we went to and that was it. It was a short 5-night cruise? 5-night cruise. The next cruise I was on was the Carnival Breeze, and that was the Cruise Geeks Lalita Loca group cruise. So it was the only Cruise Geeks group cruise that happened, and it was in connection with Lalita Loca, because of course Tony was part of the Cruise Geeks and part of Lalita Loca, and so we combined them and stuff. And again, it was amazing people. I was thinking that the Breeze was going to be my favorite ship because it had everything I loved about the Vista, and it didn't have everything I didn't love about the Vista. But that cruise was super packed because there was like a casino offer or something. So the ship didn't wow me as much as I thought. It was still an amazing ship. I highly recommend the Carnival Breeze, but the cruise itself was really, really fun. We did, let's see, where did we go? We went to Amber Cove, and we did Monkeys, which was really cool. We went to St. Thomas. We did a sea turtle snorkel, which was epic. We went to San Juan and wandered around. This time I did it right in San Juan. Went and got food, went and got pina coladas, went to Grand Turk, snorkeled right there, right by the ship in Grand Turk, and then back to Port Canaveral. Now we're caught up to...
Oh, now I get to talk?
Our first cruise together in 2020 on the Brilliance of the Seas.
February 2020, right before cruising stopped. And we went to Grand Cayman and Cozumel. Oh, you've missed everything.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
And I had gotten scuba certified right before we did this cruise. So we did in Grand Cayman my first wild dive.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And I had dove in Grand Cayman on other cruises, but that was my first dive. I want to say was that my first? No, I had dove at that at
you dove there with Mark.
Yeah. But yes, that's what we're going to probably do in Grand Cayman on our group cruise. I mean, of course, people can do whatever they want, but that's what we're going to do on Grand Cayman in the group cruise. We're going to dive and snorkel.
But it's a great place to snorkel as well.
Right by the port.
Yeah.
Yes. We do have a question from Cruising on the High Seas. Question: does CBP come on all ships in Port of Tampa or just some? And I don't know what CBP stands for.
I also don't know what CBP
So if you
is.
could tell us what that stands for, we will try to answer that question. Okay.
Dan said, "Fintastic vinyl pop figures with backdrop."
I feel like a shirt's going to come out of this or something. It's going to be just the backdrop.
There's so much amazing stuff happening in this chat. I paid more attention to the chat than when you were talking about your last few.
Yeah,
cruises.
Todd, don't feel bad for starting this because we're enjoying it as well. And if you're just listening and you're like, what is going on? Just go watch the YouTube video and you'll understand. So what is PCB? Did he mean PCB? I don't know. I don't know what I speak in words, not in initials. And I will try and answer that question. And when you say it, I'll be like, duh. Oh yeah, of course. Anyway, what was our next cruise? So Brilliance of the Seas was a little rough for us.
Yes.
Because it was our first cruise together. So we were super stoked, left out of Tampa, which was kind of fun. But it was right before the world shut down. The world was shutting down as we came back to port.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cold as we left, which if it would have been like the next week would have been really bad. You had a cold coming back,
mm-hmm.
which you got from me probably. And then the world closed.
Yeah.
So.
But it was also the Brilliance of the Seas is not my favorite layout of ship. I didn't really like it a whole lot. Now, if somebody said, hey, let's go on the Brilliance of the Seas, I'm not going to say no. I'm going on it again. But it wouldn't be my first choice of ship to go on again. It was also like I think it was time of year because it seemed really empty and like nothing was going on.
Which I was okay with.
It was just weird, but it was also my first cruise that wasn't Carnival.
Right. So it was kind of a shock.
Different for me because I'm used to that always like go, cruise director, fun, always something happening everywhere sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And that was not the case.
I would say that to me, Brilliance felt a lot like the other Royal Caribbean ships minus Monarch of the Seas because that was like steam powered that I had been on. Which I was okay with. I enjoyed that cruise, but the thing I didn't enjoy about that cruise was not feeling great the whole time. I wasn't sick enough that it ruined the cruise, but it was like constant like scratchy throat and stuffy nose, and so it just it was constantly, and then being paranoid about, is this, do I need to be worried about this? It was really before everything kind of hit,
mm-hmm.
But it was what it was.
Yeah. And it Customs and Border Protection, CBP.
So what was the original question? Let me get back to that. Does Customs and Border Protection come in all ships? And no. Okay, so no, it does not. So
according
cool
to
background podcast.
According to Stacy, CBP is cool background podcast.
Yes, if you come to Tampa, you will get that. But no, the customs in the Port of Tampa works the same as any other port. There can occasionally be situations where they would come on board, but I've sailed out of Tampa numerous times. I've never had that experience. So if you have, which I'm guessing maybe you did since you're asking about it, or maybe you just know somebody that had that experience, that is not anymore, to my knowledge, that is not any more frequent of an occurrence as it is at any other port in the United States. Okay. Our next cruise, Kimbra, was the Carnival Mardi Gras.
Oh, I loved that cruise.
That cruise was outstanding.
That was a great cruise.
The ports were fine. They were good. We had fun. I would say the Mardi Gras was the first cruise I ever took where I appreciated the ship more than the ports. And for me, that's a big thing because I am definitely a port person. Like, I like ships, but I cannot lie. I like ports better. So in the ports, we went to what? We went to Nassau, and we had a lot of fun.
We went to Puerto Rico, Nassau,
Puerto Rico, which was really cool,
and Amber Cove.
And Amber Cove, which was fine. I mean, we had fun there. What did we do? We do the
in Amber Cove.
Yeah.
We just got off the ship, walked around for a minute.
So we didn't do much. We didn't do much in Amber Cove.
But that was my first time to Puerto Rico.
Right.
And I loved it. I had a great, like, I can't wait to go back to Puerto Rico.
And honestly, like the other time I was in Puerto Rico when I did it right was on that group cruise, and we had a lot of fun walking around, hanging out with everybody. It was so much fun, but we didn't really see as much of it as you and I saw. Like walking on that path along the water to get to the fort with all the iguanas and the cats was just so cool. And we still did all the other stuff. So yeah, that was a lot.
And you know what? If we go back, cruise. Like there's definitely other things I'd like to do there, but I would absolutely do that same thing again.
Yeah. Okay. Now, next up was the Carnival Horizon. Carnival Horizon. We went to Aruba, Curacao,
La Romana, and Amber Cove. So
we did in Amber Cove. We did the experience with the dolphins and the sharks and all that. In La Romana, we did Monkeyland. And then, of course, in Aruba, we did the Flamingo Island and the Iguana Island and that. And then in Curacao, we went to that beach. What is it called? We haven't talked about that beach in a while.
Is it Maho Beach or Mambo Beach?
Mambo Beach, I think. One of the two.
It was the one that you weren't. Curacao. Yeah. The one that you kept saying wrong, and now I don't remember which way it's supposed to be said.
I would say overall, that's been my favorite cruise.
That cruise, I loved everything we did.
We were with my mom, and it was so much fun. You know, I love experience. Having that experience with Kimbra and my mom was just so awesome. And everything we did was amazing. The ship was great. It was just to be able to see the smiles on their faces with the flamingos and the dolphins. I'm getting what is it? I'm getting verklempt. Is that the word?
I don't know.
I'm getting flustered. That
was a really good
cruise.
It was
a great cruise. Really, really.
And that was like 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
Because that's the cruise that we had to reschedule.
Forever. Then we went on the Freedom of the Seas, which was a 3-night cruise, or our 3-night cruise that went to Coco Cay. And that was a lot of fun. It was a quick whirlwind of a cruise, which is what this one's going to be. But Coco Cay, I was excited to get there after the remodel, although I didn't do any of the remodel stuff really. But we saw lemon sharks. How cool was that?
Yes, that was very cool.
So cool. Great cruise, quick. It was just over as soon as it started, which is what this one's going to be like. But the price was right, and it was a lot of fun. And then our most recent cruise was on the Scarlet Lady,
which I'm sure you all know how we felt about that. No, I mean, generally it was a good cruise, just not our favorite cruise line.
Yeah, I mean, but
the ports,
on the Virgin a little bit.
I loved Costa Maya. We went to Maya Key, which I highly recommend. Yeah, and can't wait to go back. And then we did the reef shark snorkel and Sapona shipwreck snorkel in Bimini, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we gave you our feelings on Virgin, which I mean, I've tried. I hope I've made this clear that even though I've ripped Virgin Voyages quite a bit, and I don't take that back, but it was still a great cruise, and I enjoyed it. It's just that is. You know, everything is relative. And so that is relative to the other cruises I've been on, the other cruise lines I've been on. Didn't love Virgin Voyages. However, there was some cool stuff on the ship, and those port stops and the excursions we did were some of the best I've ever done. So it was an outstanding cruise.
I have to share with you what Meg said. Meg is like on point with sarcasm tonight. You guys loved the Scarlet Lady, especially the keychains.
Yes.
Don't even get me started on the keychains or lack
You had
of.
to bring it up. So yes, they don't have keychains on the Scarlet Lady. Well, they do, but not Scarlet Lady keychains.
Which makes no sense.
Don't poke the bear. All right. Anyway, and that's it. We're caught up. We're going on our 20th and your 10th.
Yeah.
My 20th, your 10th. Next Thursday on to the Holland America Rotterdam, which is like the 15th time they've named a ship the Rotterdam apparently. But it's their newest ship. We're super excited. It's a short cruise. We're just going to Half Moon Cay, which is really cool because I'm hoping to find an octopus there again. I don't know that we will, but
it's my first time on Holland America, my first time to Half Moon Cay, my first time out of Port Everglades.
Right, so lots of first, even though it's your 10th and my 20th.
Yeah. So
it should be a lot of fun. All right, let's jump into the cruise creature. Oh, I don't know if we get any audio.
Well, you know what? I'm going to play it again just because I don't know if it happened.
Okay. And there you go. So there's the cruise creature. Look, here are the questions. We're going to do them one at a time. Okay. Now, Kimbra and I have not discussed what our answers are for these questions. So you guys can give us your answers if you're in the chat, or you can guess what we're going to say in the chat based and just put the number and whether you think we're going to say that or whether it's your answer. But they got the audio twice, I think, according to Meg.
Oh, okay. Well,
here's question.
You're welcome.
Here's question one. Question one. What was the most unexpected creature you've ever seen on a cruise? What was your most unexpected creature you've ever seen on a cruise?
Am I supposed to go first?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Kevin Counts was struck by the background, so he can't even focus.
So I had to write down two.
Okay, that's cheating.
I know, but I thought of one which was great and perfect. And then I thought of another one and I couldn't replace the first one.
Okay, well, just tell us what they are.
Okay, so the first one is the lemon shark in Coco Cay.
That was
because
unexpected.
That was really cool.
That was very cool. I won't argue with that.
The other one was the land hermit crabs in Aruba.
Okay, yeah, no, I considered that as my answer, but I went with the leafcutter ants I saw in Honduras.
Okay.
Just because I think insects are interesting and neat, especially things like leafcutter ants, and I was not looking for those. I was not expecting to see those, kind of like the hermit crabs. And then I saw them and I was like, oh, there's leafcutter ants. And it's one of those things that somebody like me gets really excited about and everybody else goes, what are you doing? Like, why do you care about? I'm like, oh my gosh, there's leafcutter ants. I'm so excited. I can't believe there's leafcutter ants. And people are like, so they're ants and they cut leaves. Like what? Anyway,
I think they're really cool.
They're very cool. They're very cool. They farm fungus, people. Anyway. All right. Number two, prettiest cruise creature that you have seen on a cruise.
You get to go first on this one.
I'm going to go first on this one. All right, so I said it was that blue spotted whiptail lizards from Aruba because I love those lizards so much. They're so beautiful.
So I again have two answers.
Okay. Go ahead, Kimbra, with your two answers. I mean, I could have come up with 10, but go ahead, two answers.
So one of them was the blue spotted lizard in Aruba, but the other one was the blue trumpet fish in Curacao.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Because it was really cool and totally unexpected to see a blue one.
And yeah, and it's the same species, but sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're yellow, sometimes they're just brown. And they were like unexpectedly
So
beautiful.
like the lizards were really cool.
Unexpectedly pretty.
But yeah, I had to point out the trumpet fish. Okay,
well, what was the cutest creature? This is number 3 if anybody wants to say what
the cutest creature. Oh, you switched some things around.
Did I? I said most unexpected, prettiest, and now we're on cutest. Well, I added that one in it, I think.
On my list, it's last.
Oh, well.
That's fine.
What is the cutest creature you've ever seen on a cruise? I don't count.
Oh, I'm gonna have to change my answer then.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Meg's cutest was a sloth. Dan saw a hammerhead once.
Oh, that's cool.
You've just earned some envy from me. What was your cutest?
My cutest was the capuchin monkeys at Maya Key.
Okay. Yep, that's fair. That's fair. Mine was kind of unexpected seeing coatis in well, it wasn't technically in Cozumel, but it was in the Cozumel port, and then we went across to Playa del Carmen, and the coatis were just adorable. Coatis. If you don't know what a coati is, Google coati when we're done, and you'll see they're like adorable. They're not sloths, Meg. Okay, they're not quite at sloth level of cuteness, but they're pretty close. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, the biggest bucket list creature that you have seen on a cruise. What's the most like, oh, that was on my bucket list. Ding, tick it off. And what was that creature for you?
You have to go first on this one.
Well, mine was the octopus.
Okay.
Because I was so excited, and I've actually seen octopuses a few times now, but every time I see one, well, that's kind of given away. I get really excited. Like, I love to see an octopus. So actually it doesn't give it away because I have it anyway. Octopus is my answer, Kimbra. Octopus.
I bet you can't guess what mine is. And actually, I thought about this and then realized that the first time I saw it was actually not on a cruise, but I was still excited when I saw it on a cruise.
Was not on a cruise?
It wasn't. It was in the Keys.
Oh, a shark.
No.
It
was a sea turtle.
Oh, right. Sea turtles.
Because we saw that one at the night dive, and that's what I was thinking of. But that was actually not on. But we have seen them on cruises. And I was.
Well, we were on cruises. They weren't cruising. Just to be clear.
Well, they were cruising through the water. But yeah, it was, I'd say that was definitely my bucket list. So I had technically, I guess, already seen them, but I still wanted to see them.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Look, Amethyst says the Monkeys in Amber Cove. That's Amethyst Hayes Adventures. The Monkeys in Amber Cove. I'm assuming that's cutest. Stacy's saying I've got two answers: sloth and trunkfish. I'm not sure if he's going cutest.
I would say that's cutest.
It's probably. I mean, if you put sloth in there,
trunkfish are cute.
They are cute. They are pretty cute. I will agree to that. And then Amethyst Hayes Adventures. She is saying the stingrays. I don't know if that's a bucket list, maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
And then the chickens on Half Moon Cay is what Meg is saying. Meg, are those cute or were those a bucket list? Or were you like, man, before I die, I really want to see chickens in the Bahamas? Okay. The most common cruise creature that you see on a cruise, but you still get excited to see it. So you see these fairly often, but you're still, every time you see one, you're like, oh, I love that animal.
I have two.
Of course you have two. Why wouldn't you have two?
Well, so here's the thing. I put one, and then actually as I was deleting our videos from last week, I remembered another one.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first one is Sergeant Major.
Okay, yes. Abadef Sexatilis.
I love them. The big ones, the little ones.
Yeah. Sergeant Majors are pretty cool. If you're not sure what the Sergeant Major is, if you see a fish that is about, what would you say, 5-6 inches long for the adults, kind of white with some yellow near the top and black bars going down a little bit. That's probably an easy way to describe them. They're really common, but they are pretty cool. And they got attitude to mash.
I love them. Yeah. The other one is the smooth trunkfish.
Smooth trunkfish. Yeah. I never.
But the Sergeant Major was my first answer.
Yeah. No, I get you. I mean, I said yellow stingray because I love yellow stingrays. There are probably a lot of other animals I could have put in that answer, but yellow stingrays popped into my head. I think they're really beautiful. If you've never seen a yellow stingray, look them up. They're smaller, but they are just gorgeous. And I see them quite a bit But I still get really excited every time that I see one. I mean, honestly, I get excited when I see most things, so that's probably not really a fair question. But anyway, okay, cruise creature you could have seen in a port, but did not get to.
I think you're first on this one.
I'm first on this one.
Or am I?
I don't care.
Yeah, you're first on this one.
So I had to clarify this because you came up with this particular question. I was like, what do you mean by that? You're like, so you go to a port and you're like, oh, I could see this, but for whatever reason, you don't do the right thing or you just don't have luck and you just don't see it. But you could have seen it and you don't see it. I have 2 answers for this one.
Oh, cheater.
But I only wrote one down. Okay. I limited it to one. But I do have a second one. So my first main one is the blue iguana in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, that's a really good
because
one.
I've never seen them because I can't keep my body out of the ocean to see the coral reefs in the Cayman Islands. But I would really love to see them because I love Cayman Island iguanas. That's the true blue iguana, people. There is a blue iguana and it lives in the Cayman Islands. And I want to see one. But the other thing is, when I was in Belize and I did the river cruise, I really, really wanted to see either a Morlet's or really wanted to see a Morlet's or an American crocodile. We didn't see one, and we could have, but we didn't, and I was a little upset about that. But that would be my fallback answer there.
Okay.
What do you got?
Can you grab that for me?
The coconut? Ow! The coquille?
That's my answer.
The coquille?
Oh no. Oh, there it is.
I think you'd have to be there at night to see the coquilles.
I know. That's why I said the coquille, because I'm not there at the right time and didn't do the right thing. Wasn't in the right place.
Now, we are getting some other answers. I'm not sure which question these necessarily go to, but Kevin Count says, we swam with the turtles in Playa Pescado. That must be on the Pacific side there. Oh, no. On Curacao. Okay. Never mind. On Curacao. It was totally cool. Okay. Very cool. Meg says dolphins. Unc D, that's Dan, says manatees would still be a bucket list for him. Kevin says after the turtles, our Kevy took us to see flamingos. Cheryl was so excited she got a double whammy in one day. And Stacy says trunkfish. I've seen one on every cruise, but I think they're awesome. They are really awesome. Meg says monkeys, never seen them. I've seen them in the wild, and I've seen them as captive ones that aren't really from that area. Dan says my coworker wants to cage dive with great whites. I'd like to go back to the late Cretaceous and cage dive with a mosasaur. Dan, a mosasaur would eat the cage. Cage doesn't do. You'd have to have a really big cage to do that. But I'd go with you. Just saying. And then Kevin says, I want to eat sticky toffee pudding on Grand Cayman. Doodles says it was awesome. Doodles from the ship show said it was awesome. And anything Doodles says, I would just take as fact. So I'm just saying. All right. Meg says, don't get too close to the background, man. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mar it or anything like that. Amethyst would like to see sea turtles, and Meg says, I heard the monkeys and bellies. So she heard them, she just didn't see them.
Okay.
All right, one final question, and that is cruise creature that you like to see on a cruise or while you are cruising. Yeah. So what's a creature that you have never seen, but you still have hopes that and this is something you could actually see on a cruise, not like, I mean, I could say gharial. I'm never going to see a gharial at any cruise excursion because I'm not cruising to India. So that wouldn't be a realistic answer, but what would your answer be?
Manta ray.
Oh, I almost got to see manta rays in Mexico. That's a good one.
I know.
I like that one. I said a hammerhead shark.
That's a good one too.
Bimini is where that could happen. So that could be a realistic thing. Manta ray, good answer though. Yeah.
That surprise you?
Doesn't surprise me. I just didn't think of it. Here's the problem. all these questions have multiple answers that there's so many possibilities that we could have. Meg says sea turtles. Meg, I don't know if that's something you would like to see that you haven't. Stacy says shark. Is that something you'd like to see that you haven't? Go on the group cruise with us. I don't know if we'll see any sharks, but we will try. But we will try real hard to see sea turtles. I do know that we didn't see sea turtles when we were diving in Grand Cayman, but I have seen them on other dives in Grand Cayman and snorkels in Grand Cayman and stuff. So they're around. Sharks are a little harder. Now, my buddy Mark,
I've seen more sharks than sea turtles.
That's true, which is interesting. My buddy Mark, we went diving in Grand Cayman. It was a wall dive, so that means you're like at the edge of a wall that drops down several thousand feet. And he saw a shark off in the distance. I didn't see it, but I trust my buddy Mark that he saw it. And it was probably a reef shark. Could have been something else. He didn't see it that well to identify it. He could have identified it if he did, but that was in Grand Cayman. And I did see a nurse shark in Grand Cayman when I was snorkeling with Charlie. There was a nurse shark. Now the problem with that snorkel is it was no, that was not Grand Cayman. I take that back. That was Grand Turk. Both of those were Grand Turk. Forget everything. They were both. This is almost empty. This big cup.
Most of that was Coke.
Okay. Both
I actually don't know.
Both of those were in Grand Turk, but yes, they're nurse sharks. Look, do you guys count nurse sharks as sharks?
Yeah.
I mean,
otherwise they're puppies.
Well, I mean, that's what we call baby sharks, is pups.
That's
pups.
true.
Puppy shark.
But like Charlie at the aquarium, he's basically a big puppy.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, they are sharks. Nurse sharks are definitely sharks, but and honestly, there are like 500 species of sharks, so most of them don't necessarily look like one thing or the other. But the image in my mind of a shark is not a nurse shark. Like when you say, Matt, draw a picture of a shark, I'm never going to draw you a nurse shark unless you say draw a nurse shark or draw a shark that lives on the bottom or something.
Are you ever going to draw a whale shark?
I might, but probably not, because that's another
right. Okay.
category.
Then is it a shark?
It is, but it's different. Like whale sharks, nurse sharks, and then all the other sharks. I mean, there's a lot of sharks that fit in some of those categories, but yeah.
I mean, when we were in the Keys and that nurse shark swam right in front of us, that was a shark.
Yes.
There was no question.
So like, all right. But
it was kind of like,
was it cooler? Okay. So when we saw the nurse sharks in the Keys compared to the Caribbean reef sharks that we saw in the Keys, but also in Bimini, would you put those on the same level? Because I wouldn't. I would put the Caribbean reef sharks like up here and the nurse shark down here, which is also kind of where they live. But that's not why I would put them there.
But that one in particular that swam, like I could have reached my hand out and touched it because it swam right there. Like that was cool. It wasn't just a nurse shark sitting on the bottom, which is what I imagine every nurse shark I'm going to see is doing.
Right.
So in that case, they're pretty much the same to me.
Okay. I don't see them that way, because I've seen a lot of nurse sharks, but
that was also like one of my first dives in the wild. I mean, I've done others since then, but there was like one of my first, like, that Keys trip was big for me. I saw a lot of really cool stuff.
So let's say that I give you a choice and I'm like, okay, you can either go in and dive with 20 nurse sharks or 2 Caribbean reef sharks. Which one do you choose?
Caribbean reef sharks.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I mean, nurse sharks are fine. I like them, but they don't have that classic shark look.
Okay.
They're not swimming around. They're not swimming at. I mean, they're just,
But that one in the Keys did. swam right past my face.
I mean, one time I was diving. I was doing a night dive with a buddy of mine, and there was a hogfish. We were coming over the top of a coral head. There was a hogfish right in front of me, and I turned around to my dive buddy, and I wanted her to see it. So I was like, "Look!" And I kind of did this, like look behind me, and then pointed in front of me. And when I pointed in front of me, that hogfish was gone, and a nurse shark, literally, like timing was perfect, like swam right within feet of us, right up in front of us over the coral head. So she assumed that that's what I was pointing at the whole time. So she was like, "Oh, shark, shark." So she was like super cool. And then when we finished the dive, I was like, I was like, the nurse shark wasn't there. It was a hogfish. And then I turned around, there's a nurse shark like in my face. Like it was so like I wanted to put dollars on it. Like it was so close to me.
Wow.
I don't know if it had claspers or not. I'm not sure. Anyway, Dan says, how about a Greenland shark? That'd be cool. You could see them. They wouldn't see you because they have isopods that eat their eyeballs.
That would be cold, though. I don't want to do a cold dive.
I would do it to see a Greenland shark.
Well, I guess.
I would put up with a lot to see sharks. Like I would deal with a lot of discomfort to see sharks. Like if you wanted to dive with great whites, like Dan was saying, it's going to probably be cold water because great whites typically like cold water.
I guess that's true.
That's why they're in southern and western Australia. That's why they're in California, because the water's cold there. They might pass through Florida, but they're not normally in the Caribbean or Florida because they're not warm water sharks. So
okay.
What's Todd saying? I would try and get my G.I. Joe.
Well, he's got a whole thing before it.
We had a lagoon near my uncle's house on PCH. He would catch baby tiger shark. I'm not sure what he said. We would play in the lagoon with the sharks and our G.I. Joe. Seems wrong now. We did a lot of things when we were kids, Todd, that probably seems wrong now. So.
All right.
Are we done? It's 10:07. Let's wrap this up.
I know. You just keep talking.
I'm done. Stick
All right.
a fork in me. Not literally.
I don't have a fork.
Ow.
All right. Well, on that note, it's time to head for the horizon. And until next time, seize the day.
Have a fantastic week, everybody. Okay, we're back after the credits. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, Kenny, saying great show as always. Appreciate that. Todd's had a little too much tequila. I hear you. I have not had enough whiskey though. I feel like I did 4 of those. Whatever my shot glass.
The big one or the little one?
The big one.
You had 4 of the big one?
3. I had 3.
Okay, the big one is 2 ounces.
So I had 6. That's it. 6 ounces of whiskey.
Okay.
It's not too bad, right?
Sure.
I'm happy.
So earlier, I had a thought of what we were going to talk about after.
And you forgot?
I have no idea what it was.
Wow.
What have we been doing? Or what are we doing? Anything?
I mean, last week we did Repticon, and this week we were going to do the Renaissance Fair, but we're not because we don't want to risk getting sick, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the risk is pretty low at this point, but I'm teaching camp on Monday, so that's the big risk for me of getting sick.
I didn't get a gargoyle gecko.
No, she did not.
I almost did. I got real close.
Meg had a lot of fun tonight. It was the background.
There was another one. What was this one? Wonderful show, almost as good as the background.
You see what you've started, right?
Todd said all things background. Oh.
All right. You got anything?
But you know what? I'm almost starting to think that all this background talk, they don't really like my background. It's just all sarcasm.
Oh my goodness. Really? Are you just pleading for more, like pumping your background ego?
I don't know. Like, I think they're just joking
They
about
love
it now.
your background,
My background
Kimbra.
is just a joke to
Your
everyone.
background is great. Okay. They're not just saying that to be funny.
Meg said something earlier about the whale tail hiding behind or poking over the city. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was while you were talking.
Reno was good tonight.
Reno was good tonight.
That's good. So, Meg, also it was nice meeting a celebrity. Yes. You know, I never know. So here's the thing. Let me tell you, if you watch that news clip with me in it, I'm just going to let you in on the reality that is me. So, you know, from Kimbra complaining about it, that I can't not fill silence with my voice. So now I'm in a professional news studio with professional news people, and I've got an alligator. I was not really told what to say or anything. Like, I had no idea what was going to happen. Like, I knew we were going to talk about the aquarium. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. So I'm just like, okay, you've got to bite your tongue and let them lead you in the story. Do you know that they didn't tell? Originally, they were like, you can choose whatever animal you want. Then our PR person was like, no, we're bringing in an alligator. Great. Here's the problem. I could talk about alligators for a long time. Like, if you were like, Matt, talk about alligators, go. I could probably fill a solid 2 hours with alligator information. That is the last animal you want me to talk about, because I will just never stop talking about alligators. So like, if it was like something like that, I just have this much information about, fine. I've got like 20 facts, 10 facts, whatever it is. And I can like pull from that library. When it's alligators, I have like an Encyclopedia Britannica of alligator information that I have to pull from. And I'm like, well, which bit of information am I going to regurgitate here? And I wanted to talk about so many things. It was
he can also talk hours about how much he can talk about alligators.
That's true. That's true. Look, I can talk about alligators a lot. I think that's what I'm saying.
I know. My point was, you just spent like 5 minutes telling everyone how much you could talk.
Case in point. Like, I've taught programs on alligators that have literally lasted 2 hours, and I wasn't finished. That's what I'm saying. I like alligators a little bit, and there's a lot to know about them. If you ever want to talk about alligators, let me know.
I can tell you about their solar panels.
There you go. All right. Let's see. An alligator in Florida. What?
I'm just going to pause.
Oh, okay.
Now,
is that good? Okay. Kevin.
We don't need the podcast to go on.
I know.
Forever.
We could probably have ended it a lot. Anyway, an alligator in Florida probably escaped from a zoo. Yes. Everything else, yes. But alligators, no.
My aunt's on here. Did you see that?
Hey.
She watched your news thing.
Oh.
So speaking of that, hi Andy. Also,
that's true, Stacy. It's sad but true.
My mom sent an email to my aunt and my grandma Nan. And the title was Matt, and it was really funny because it said, "Look at this, he's so comfy with that baby and does a really great job," and then posted the link to his news thing to my aunt and my grandma, which I thought was really funny.
I could talk about the backdrop for a long time. Like I can talk. You guys know that I can talk, but that's on. I can talk on anything, but if it's something I actually know about, I can talk even more. I mean, look at this. We've got Curacao up here, right here, represented Curacao, downtown Curacao, Willemstad, Curacao. We've got these beautiful gnomes that were provided by Stacy and Gina, mostly Gina, really. I mean, credit where credit's due. I don't think Stacy did any work on these gnomes. Did he? Why he's looking at me?
Because it's so funny because you say something and you don't just say the thing. You say it like 3 more times in different ways.
That's how you teach people. Right? You'll get it one of the times I say it.
I mean, that's how I write emails to teachers that don't read the information that I've already sent to them. I'm basically like, this is the way it is. This is the way it is again in a different sentence. And one more time, this is the way it is.
Well, that's what you do. You have to tell people what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. That's
I know.
Public speaking 101.
Yeah.
That's how and then they remember a little bit of it.
Yeah. And then the teacher replies and asks you basically what you just told them. But that's, another story.
Meg, finally we can talk about the background. Yes. Did you see what Stacy said? Most people get nervous if they're expected to talk, but Matt gets flustered if he can't
That
talk.
sounds right.
I mean, if it's something I don't know about, like if you were like, Matt, talk about algebra, I would probably be nervous about that. Because I mean, I was okay with algebra when I took it, but now I'd be like, A and equals something or another. I don't know. See, Todd, you need to hear things 3 times for them.
My aunt said, that's why I don't train. I'll say it once.
Stacy says, nope, I had nothing to do with the gnomes. They would have been all messed up if I had. Hey, Ashley. Hello, Ashley. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? It is 10:17. Let's sign off, and maybe I can pop over with Down Under Cruisers for a little bit because I haven't done that last couple of weeks. I'm kind of missing that. So
you gonna say that again in 2 more different ways?
So it's been a while since I've been able to, kind of like go over to the live stream of the Down Under Cruisers. That's Sean and Alana from Australia. So what I'm going to do is after this, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go over to the Down Under Cruisers on YouTube, check them out, and get in their live stream.
We're going to do that now?
Right now.
After this, we're going to go. Okay.
But seriously, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. We had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and we'll see you soon. I don't know what's going to happen next week, though.
Well, we're not.
We'll be on the high seas. We may do this
on Sunday.
We're looking at Sunday.
We'll
be back.
Maybe Monday. It depends, because on our drive back, we might stop somewhere fun.
We're going to.
We're going to.
We're
right?
going to Iguanaland.
Oh, you're going to tell them?
It's Iguana. Yeah, we're in the back of the thing. Yeah, this is for the people that hang out.
Okay.
We're going to Iguanaland, a brand new place, open near Fort Myers. We're going there. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So going on the cruise, Iguanaland, probably do the live stream the podcast either Sunday or Monday night. We will let you guys know, but thank you for hanging out. Look for us on Facebook, and we will probably be updating you on the cruise because we will have internet.
Yes.
So.
Yep. And now we're going to go over to the Down Under Cruisers.
Down Under Cruises.
Bye.
Peace.